Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Pool Opening 2024, Part 12. Now we're going to brush the pool. We've had a stroke of good luck lately. Let me show you how it's turned around. You know, I feel quite blessed that I'm the guy that gets to stand here and move the little handle on the tripod around. Looks pretty good. It looks pretty good. It's cooler today. What's happened since the last video? I vacuumed again. Didn't seem to make much difference. We got rid of a lot more green on the bottom. There's still watermelon stripes. A lot of the junk you see down there is this stuff right over here. These are leaves from this Japanese maple tree that I have, otherwise called red tree shit in the business. There's a lot, and you saw that down over at this end. For some reason, it likes to collect there. I'm not concerned about that stuff because it doesn't actually stain the pool, it's just a nuisance. I still have the pool ever so slightly overfilled, but I'm actually going to add more water anyway. You can see a lot of that stuff wants to go in the skimmer, and a lot of it already has. Yeah, that's a lot. You can see over here there's a pile of it. That's going to just be good enough. I'll do the same with the other skimmer basket. So what happened was I vacuumed the pool again. I also tried to attack the slanty parts. And as you can see, I didn't do that great of a job with it, and that's because it's just impossible. I also tried to do the sides. And as you can see, I didn't do such a hot job with it either. So we need to rectify that. Like I said, I'm not really concerned with this stuff down here at the bottom right now. I think what I will do is I'll run the vacuum just on this third, but I'm going to vacuum differently this time. I'm actually going to vacuum to the filter. Now, don't vacuum to the filter. You don't want to do that. But I know that most of this is just leaves. So it's kind of, how do you say? It's fluffy stuff like this. So it's not really going to clog anything per se. There's a new stick. We had some rain and that. It's not really going to clog stuff too much, but what is going to happen is it's going to fill the filter up regardless. I backwashed one more time since the last video as well, after I vacuumed to the filter. Again, it's not good practice to the filter, you just don't want to do it, but with the amount of water I already put in this pool, it's, I'm afraid of the bill, and that's coming in 2 days. So, yeah, try to curb that, but like I said, I need some more water in here anyway, because I'm going to end up backwashing again. Let me get this knocked out, just this third or so. Here, I'll show you how to set it up. It's real easy. I still have the vacuum attached, as you can tell. We're going to just sort of put that in there. It's not going to stay. I don't have enough hose. Okay, after all that, that's going to be good enough for our purposes. We'll park the vacuum in the corner. That seems to work for me in this pool. Okay, it's not parking, that's fine. Now we're just going to drop this right in. Here's the new vacuum plate, skimmer plate. We gotta wait for this to fill with water. Any day. Like I said, it's real easy to set up. It's not stuck in water. Great. Sometimes it gets airlocked. Now the first thing I'm going to do is shut the solar off. It actually did swing off for now, but I just want to make sure it doesn't come on, because I don't want that stuff getting up in there. That'd be no good. And over here, we're going to go down and we're going to close off the west skimmer. I'm sorry, the east skimmer, because I'm using the west skimmer. Now it should take some air. It's going to be a minute. It was kind of airlocked for one reason or another. Sooner or later, and I hear something, we should be getting air from there. Okay, we're not getting air from there. That's good. Must be real airlocked. Nope, there he goes, finally. That took a while. I think we're going to be good, because there was some water left in the hose, so it's got bubbles in it, if you will. It's not fully devoid of water. Plus, the main drain is still on, so it has another inlet. And we're just going to let this chooch here until it clears the air. Because you need water flowing, not air. Air ain't going to help. Sometimes, if you're really lucky, the vacuum head will float up out of the pool. It's a weighted one, so it shouldn't. But sometimes that'll happen, and it'll keep sucking air, and you stand here for 10 minutes wondering what's going on. Oh, wonderful. All right, we're going to call that good enough. It's going to figure itself out in the next time I get back over there. And like I said, I didn't change anything else. I didn't move the multi-port valve. We're still on filtration. It's going to the filter. Like I said, you don't really want to do this in the interest of saving water. Let me turn that on. Oh, I gotta hit the other valve too. There he goes. We'll see what the bill is, and then we'll figure out if we have to do a full vacuum again. Alright, all the air is purged. We're good to go. So one of the nice parts about vacuuming to the filter is you're not sending any water down the drain. So that makes it, you know, you can really take your time. I can go nice and slow and easy. You'll notice that I left the main drain on, and that's because I want a lot of water flow to go with this dirt and leaves and stuff that we're sucking up. That's actually an important thing that I should have mentioned earlier. We want extra water flowing because that will help it disperse within the filter. At least that's what the physics tell me about it. So it looks like the vacuum hose is nicely tangled up. But I'm just going to take my time with this, and I'm going to vacuum, and we'll see what it looks like when I'm done, and then we'll go and brush it. There comes a time in every man's life where he clogs the vacuum. I don't know how this clogged. Couldn't imagine. That is just packed full. I think one of the reasons for this, that's going to be the easiest way to unclog that. Look at this bolus of leaves. I was doing all right for a while. or at least so I thought. But I think one of the reasons this vacuum clogged, this is a new one that I got this year. See how small that is? That hose fits on the larger part, kind of, sort of. So that's actually throttling us. I wonder if I might have to take that off. We'll see. Anyway, I've gotten the clog taken care of. So I'm going to continue and finish vacuuming. Yeah. There we go. See all that? And it's those leaves, like I said. Now, of course, along with the leaves that I sucked up, that's going to go in the pump basket. Just, you can't get that out. It's going down there. Just is. Not worried about cleaning it just now because, first of all, that stuff will go back in that basket. And second, it's going to be more. This was not a fun time vacuuming, actually. Usually it's a very cathartic experience. It just, you know, between the vacuum clogging and then everything's going good for a bit, and then a stick went right across the thing and blocked off the center part, so it didn't want to suck stuff up that way. All right, let's take a look at the pool. Remember that along with all of the red tree shit that we sucked up, we also stirred the pot. So the water is not crystal clear. It's not bad, but it's not perfectly clear. Got a lot of it. You can't get it all. That's going to be a job for Robot in the last part of this. But hey, take a look. We are 90% of the way there. I did not touch any of that stuff. I'm not worried about that right now. I'm going to hit that when everything is all done with my leaf net, which I showed you before. And that should enable me to scoop out most of that. Might follow that with a little more vacuuming or something. Just try to make the job a lot easier for Robot. He's getting on in years, he's getting old, you know, and as you get older, you don't work as well as you used to. So, you know, make his job a bit easier. All right, we got to get to brushing now. So that actually entails more vacuuming, because the vacuum actually is sort of a brush. We're going to switch over to that little guy. So here's the old vacuum skimmer plate. It might still kind of work, but not very well. Save it for an emergency? Probably not. Okay. This, we had put a cable tie on, but I already took it off. Cable tie is still on there. Can I tighten that anymore? Maybe. We'll see. Clean the brushes on your vacuum. Just this is fine. Because otherwise, next time you go to put it in the pool, you're putting this stuff back in the pool, and that kind of defeats the purpose. It takes just a moment to get all this junk off of there. You don't have to do a perfect job. But keep an eye on these brushes on the vacuum, because when they wear down, you're going to have a harder time vacuuming, and it's also just not going to be that effective. Made that mistake with my first vacuum. It just got so worn down, it was really hard to move around, and it didn't want to anymore. It said, I give up. And then I got a new one, which was the one before this. Didn't last nearly as long, but hey, that's how stuff is made today. And that was a lot better. This one's okay. So there's that. And we have to flip that over, squeeze the two little guys, and somehow get that off. There we go. That's got leaves all over it. That's good. I love the orange and blue. That was always a favorite color combination of mine for whatever reason. You can see how the duct tape works just great. So that's perfect. I'm going to set everything up exactly as it were, and I'll show you what this is really good for. This is extremely precarious because it's much lighter weight. We're concentrating on where the wall goes from vertical to the slant. I know the hose is in the way. This is a low budget production at $0. Gone that fast. So this is essentially brushing the pool, and it's great for those little spots. I have the whole corner here to do. So I'm going to play with this thing until I get tired of it, and then we're going to end up destroying the pool again. It got really windy suddenly. Take a look at the line of dirt at the bottom right there, right in the corner. Let me hit it with that. Just pulling it out, I airlocked it. You can see and hear all the bubbles. We almost had to reprime this pump from scratch. But it did do one thing, because what I did is I pulled the vacuum head out while the pump was still on. I did that purposely to try to get water out of the hose. And it kind of worked, except it airlocked everything else. Take a look at that vacuum head. Yeah, that's it's kind of got leaves on it. That's bad. That's just, I gotta spray it out with the hose. That's just not coming out of there. That's pretty awful. I don't know why they say these are for spas and hot tubs. It does fine just in the pool.
I don't know why they call this stuff hamburger helper. It does just fine by itself, huh?
Well, that's filter o'clock. Got some weird sounds going on. They'll ease their way out. Not quite time to backwash yet. We didn't quite hit the point where the shitter's full, but oh boy, is it ever going to be full. Now, first and foremost, we just stirred the pot. While we're here, before we get back to that, damage control on the filter basket. Doesn't look too bad. It's got some leaves in it. Or actually, more correctly, red tree shit. But it's actually not too bad. See? That could almost not be sprayed out with the hose, but I'll do that. Okay, quick job with the hose later. Not much better. Perfect. Doesn't need to be perfect. A couple of reasons. One is it's never going to be. You can make it perfect, and then as soon as you turn the pump on, there's going to be stuff in it. And two is there's going to be more junk going in here eventually, I'm sure. So there's no point in doing an absolutely perfect job. We got enough water in here, and it should just turn right back on. Remember, 2 fingers. Don't cheat, by the way. Remember, I said 2 fingers. Don't go like this, because now you're trying to use your whole hand. Don't cheat. 2 fingers. That's it. That's it. I can't turn that anymore. Right there. And she should pick right up. There we go. Excellent. Nice and clear. Water clarity check. Not good, not bad. That's kind of what it comes down to. A little cloudy. Maybe not that much worse off than we were. But we're looking very blue. We are looking very, very blue. Again, I still haven't done any of the leaf pockets down over here. They always collect at this end. I'm not worried about that right now. I'll get to that probably before the next part. The next part is actually finally brushing the pool. What we did before with the little hamburger helper brush is kind of more like flossing. I don't know if you're supposed to do that before or after you brush your teeth, but they say you're supposed to do it. A lot of people don't. The brushing is going to get the majority of this off, but one thing about the brush, it does not have a vacuum port. So that means that stuff is getting in the water. And we're going to stir the pot up real good. So by the time I'm done, it's going to look bad. Meantime, I'm taking a short break, and then I'll come back and we will actually go ahead and brush. If you close one eye and squint just right, mint. Red tree shits, more red tree shits, more red tree shits, more. Oh, red tree shit. Oh. More of that. Let's see here, maybe we got something. No, red tree shit. Yeah, that's what's there. That's a lot of red tree shit. An awful lot of red tree shit. Oh. That was just with the leaf net. But it looks a lot better with that out of there. This stuff is terrible. I hate this stuff. Hate this stuff. All right, let's go and brush the pool now. Just sprayed my hands off with the hose. That would be a pool brush. That's what we're going to use. Now, just like I said with your vacuum and everything else, if it's falling apart, get a new one. Don't wait. This is about, I had it last year, I know. Eventually what happens is the sun is going to cook these brushes, and they're nylon, they'll just break off, and then you'll end up with a whole bunch of them in the pool. We're going to start in the corner on the wall. And we're going to do that, and maybe, I don't know if I'm going to go down the slanty part or not. Depends kind of what I feel like. And we'll go along that line of the pool, that whole side right there. Well, as you can tell, I did not do the slanty part. A perfect job it ain't, but that's okay. I have 3 more sides and the slanty part to do. Then we'll do the floor. Later o'clock. Still some leaves. Haven't swept the bottom yet. But otherwise, that's a pretty blue pool. Water quality, abysmal. But that's to be expected. We just stirred the pot. So now, we're going to go and vacuum the floor. I'm lucky that I have a main drain, so I'm going to use it. We're going to shut the skimmers off. And take water just from the main drain. And now the idea is to sweep or to brush everything towards the main drain. Think of that as the sun with starbursts coming, you know, like the, you know what I'm talking about. Those things. But do it reverse. Send it into it. Make sure you hit the house while you're at it. And stop before you get to the drain. You want to make that cloud and have it kind of like a ghost vacuum from Ghostbusters. That's the idea. Stop before you get there so the cloud kind of makes its way to the drain and gets sucked up. It's not perfect. But it certainly does help. That one I overshot a little bit. I don't know how much of this you can see. So, I've done a quarter of the pool already. You can see it's not really hard work. It's just work. And that only took, what, 2 minutes? That really wasn't a lot. That was not a lot of time. So, I got about 6 more minutes worth of work. We'll do that, and then we'll wrap this up. Let's not forget to turn the skimmers back on. I already shut this down and gave the basket a quick spray out. Filter pressure not too bad. It actually just went down a little bit when I got rid of that air. But it's got a lot to filter. Water clarity check, beyond abysmal. But you gotta say, with the exception of still more red tree shit, and I even put the leaf net in again and pulled out another bag and a half worth of that. That's a lot of stuff. Besides that, in the corner there by the steps, I got most of the rest out. The water is very cloudy. It needs time to sit, and it needs time to filter. You have some questions at this point. Okay, what do you got? Yeah, wouldn't actually be a bad idea to leave the pump running overnight. You don't have to. To be very honest with you, it's very, very rare that I actually do that, and things generally have been just fine. And the overnight hours, because I run the pump 12 hours a day, so it's 12 hours on, 12 hours off, there's 12 hours of electricity you didn't spend on. It'll probably be fine, but again, if you want to do it, not going to hurt anything. Only going to help. But when you get up in the morning, check that filter pressure immediately. Because if that's too high, you got to backwash it. So if you're going to work the next day, wake up 20 minutes early so you can take care of that before you leave. Next question you have, should I backwash the filter? When it's time. It's not time yet. The gauge doesn't show it. Everything else seems to be doing fine, and it needs time. It needs time to run. Leave it be. I got time. Today it's going to run for 6 more hours or so. Something like that. 5 more hours, something like that. Tomorrow the weather is iffy, but the day after it's going to be nice. The weather being iffy tomorrow isn't actually a problem because they say it's my birthday. Yes, tomorrow is my birthday, May 31st. I'm going to be 45. Not looking forward to that. I stopped looking forward to birthdays a while ago. Because each time I have one, it's getting closer to the end. When you're young, it didn't matter. Okay, that's an excellent question. Should you shock the pool now? It can't hurt. It certainly can't hurt. Can it help? Definitely. Can it hurt? I just told you it's not going to hurt. Is it necessary to do? For me, today is Thursday. Tomorrow's Friday. The next day is Saturday. Saturday is the day I opened the pool 2 weeks ago. And that's the day that I put in chlorine and all that other stuff. So Saturday is my day. Could I do all that now? Yep, I could check, see if I actually need chlorine tabs. Might not be a bad idea. And if I do, it's probably worth going ahead and shocking the pool again, just to get all that waterborne stuff that we kicked up by stirring the pot, really this time, killed off. Okay, because the chlorine is going to kill the algae and help prevent it from coming back. Now, what? Oh, yeah, that's actually a great question also. What about the rest of the green stuff that is in the pool still that you couldn't seem to get with the brush or the little vacuum head or anything else that we touched upon in this entire, 3 hours video? I don't know. How do you get rid of that? Well, here's a tip. I'm not going to be showing you this, so listen up. The pool is relatively clean. Besides the cloudiness of the water, if it were clear now, you're going to see that green a lot more. Is it going to be to the point where it's too skeevy and like, oh, I don't want to go in that now? No, it's going to be pretty good depending on how good of a job you did. get yourself a nice bath towel. Sorry, don't get a nice one. Get a crummy one that you have. Towels that you have laying around for emergencies, spills, stuff like that, that they're stained and there's this and that. You know, just, you know, as long as they're clean, they've been through the washing machine and that, go in the pool with that towel and start washing the windows down. Oh, there's no windows. Start washing the walls down. Start doing the slanty part if you got that. What about the floor? Well, you can kind of put it on the floor of the pool and kind of do the... But that gets tiring pretty quick in the water. Another way you could do that is to actually tie it up with string on your pool brush, and that gives you essentially almost like a sponge mop head. Now, in the end of that, this towel is going to have green all over it. Run it through the washing machine, it will be just fine. But like I said, don't take a good towel and ruin it. Get a crummy one that you already have. Okay, this was the most amount of work probably since the first day of pulling that cover off, because that's real heavy and not fun to deal with. But was it hard work? No. Remember, like I said, you have to put the time in to the pool now, and it's going to pay you back all summer. Taking care of your pool is one of the most rewarding experiences. You saw what it looked like when we started, forgetting the non-clear water. Now, it's pretty damn clean. It's pretty nice and blue. Not perfect by any means, but we're 95% of the way there. We're almost done with this. Get in there with your towel, clean that up, let everything filter. You got to give it time for it to go through the filter and stuff like that. And before you know it, you're going to have a sparkling blue pool that's going to pay you back all summer. Just think of the barbecues you're going to have, people in the backyard, stuff like that. Even if it's just you and a special someone, and that's all you do, and you don't really associate with anybody else, you'll enjoy it, they'll enjoy it. It's a very rewarding experience, like having a pet, a dog, a cat, a fish, you know, a bird, anything like that. You have to take care of them. A lot of young kids say, I want to get a puppy, I want to get a puppy. Well, that's all great, and it's a wonderful thing if you're a pet person and you love your pet dearly. But you got to clean up after it. You got to feed it. If it's a dog, you got to walk it. If it's a bird, you got to clean out the cage. If it's a cat, they bathe themselves, so that's good, but there's a litter box. That's not fun. So, but I got 2 of them. I got 2 cats. I love them dearly. I hate doing the rest, but it's very rewarding because you have your pet. Same thing with the pool. It is very rewarding for all of this work that you put in. We have one more thing to do, which is going to be in the next part, unless something else comes up, which is to put Robot in and have him finish the job. Thank you very kindly for watching. I greatly appreciate all of you. Make sure you click like, make sure you click subscribe, and take care. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.